Greetings and salutations. Today I'm going to review Demolition Man, starring Sylvester Stallone as the titular Demolition Man, also known as John Spartan. Wesley Snipes as the vile Simon Phoenix. Sandra Bullock as Lenina Huxley, and personally my all-time favorite Sandra Bullock movie role, because that's her best role out personally. Alongside Bob Gunton as the chief, Nigel Hawthorne as the vile dictator, Dr. Raymond Cocteau, Dennis Leary as Edgar Friendly, who was the resistance leader. With cameo appearances by Jesse Ventura as one of Phoenix's goons. Later also unfolds in the Cryocon of the futuristic merge of San Francisco and Los Angeles, known as San Angeles. As those who've seen this movie knows that at the beginning, it takes place in the futuristic 1996. Starts out in 1996, where Spartan goes after Simon Phoenix. And I gotta say, Simon Phoenix was like Joker without makeup. That's how evil and sadistic he was. With that bright blonde hair and the tacky clothes. Even for the future, I'd say for a movie that takes prediction of the future, wants to predict the futures, that one has the tackiest wardrobe of civilians wearing robes and such. And of course, Glenn Shaddix as Associate Bob with that tacky hair. And that's an underrated actor. Was an underrated actor, R.I.P. And of course, Demolition Man. When it comes to dystopian movies, this one is one of the greatest ones. And I'd say it was a lot better than Stallone's version of Judge Dredd. I'll get to that one in another video. But that was also an epic pairing at SmackDown of, if you ever want to see two actors versus each other, that's one of Wesley Snipes and Stallone fighting each other, which for action fans, they're like, oh yeah. And of course, you got, there's also the dystopian aspects of what I'll say, Demolition Man, a total nanny state. Even cussing was illegal. Meat and everything. And I can say, in a way, that movie predicted Bloomberg and his authoritarian agenda. Don't mean to sound political, but regardless of what you think, just put the politics as a joke, okay? I'm a political opportunity critic when it comes to that. So, but when it comes to back to the movie, yeah. I also hate to say, but it kind of did predict Scott Peterson as when Phoenix gets on fault, they mentioned databases and his name was listed. And that's as far as I go off topic, but you gotta admit, and also the whole deal of every restaurant being Taco Bell, Schwarzenegger being president. And I was like, how did the Constitution go from 27 amendments to 61 in between the span of 20? I say was now 2019, although a movie was made in 1993. Of what was now 27 amendments to 61. Of course, one would be They made clause for Schwarzenegger to be president in that universe. Man. Talk about how dystopian Demolition Man is. And I'm talking about Equilibrium before Equilibrium. Which that will be also for another review. And of course, the casting chemistry. And you gotta admit, although Demolition Man came first, you can almost say it was the closest you ever get to Judge Dredd fighting Blade. And personally, I'd say Wesley Snipes, I liked you as Blade, but you're a better you play a better villain than you do good guy. And of course, the chemistry between Stallone and Bullock of being epic as police partners. Although that was like the weirdest sex scene of a virtual sex. I mean, I knew St. Angeles was a nanny state. Damn. And of course, the whole deal of the chip thing that reprogrammed of you talk about the setup for a false flag in that universe in that movie where when Cocteau programs Simon Phoenix into being the all time super soldier. I mean, like evil Captain America, I'll say this much. But you gotta, yeah. But it does have some quotes like, "Hey, now you can't take away people's right to be assholes," and "No free rides." Right at the beginning, one sequence when Spartan and Huxley chase Phoenix while he's in a stolen futuristic cop car. And Stallone and Spartan and Huxley in an Oldsmobile 442 with bucket seats. And the enthusiasm of that reaction when she's discovered that in the sewer. And how it opened the elevator in that museum. And of course, the museum shootout. One of the most epic movies in it. Like, hold up, it's the futures. This is the future. Where's the phaser guns at? And I mean, talk about epic of that shootout. When another weird thing was the popular radio station being commercial jingles, all commercial jingles of banned products. Jeez. But overall, I give Demolition Man a 5 out of 5. I mean, highly influential. And I can say, that movie made me a conspiracy theorist, and I'll say this much. That's how much of an impact Demolition Man had on my life. And you got that. And then, I already mentioned the action scenes and a cameo by Jason Ventura. He was one of the cryocons. And yeah, in the future, cryocons. Not sure how that would work. But hey, it makes a good action movie. And surprisingly, one movie that hadn't did like a sequel or a reboot it as a series to where it's not just Simon Phoenix, but in that version they could go like every other criminal that's also cryoconned that took place after that escaped and went rogue and all that, broke programming. And that movie did have some potential for sequels. I mean, there was even talks that one where Stallone was supposed to fight Jackie Chan. Talk about how epic that would have been. And also about a little Easter egg on how Sandra Bullock's character was named Lena Huxley. Named after Aldous Huxley. Author of Brave New World and a few other sci-fi novels. And like I say, Demolition. Back to Demolition Man. One of the greatest sci-fi movies and action movies. I mean, it's a must-watch for anybody who's an action fan. I mean, you want to make. I mean, you want to introduce a friend of Stallone. This is a good start. And how good pairing that of how Stallone and Wesley Snipes made, which they later reunited for Expendables 3. That's for another video. So yeah. And another fun fact was how all the futuristic cars were all brought to you by GM. And I say if all the restaurants are Taco Bell, then that means all the cars are GM. And talk, talk about epic. Talk about weird, epically weird. And of course, comic relief by old Watson, by Glenn Shaddix, who was a frequent collaborator in his lifetime with Tim Burton films. Though this one is not a Tim Burton film. And of course, there's all right. Did I already? Well, enjoy, people. Or should I say, be well.